All right, going live. Hi, everyone, and thank you again for stopping by. Yours truly, Miss Anita. It's me again. And I have a very special and dear friend. Well, actually, I call her my daughter, Miss Marcine. She's back
Hi.
with us again, and today we're going to talk about holiday time and while
Mhm.
everybody is having fun and partying and hanging out with your family members and friends, and try not to fight because you know it can get kind of crazy around the holiday times of the few little sips. You know what I'm saying? You drink.
Yes.
But before you get into all the holiday fun and cheer and eating and drinking and partying and whatever
Mm,
else you guys do, I do want to talk about some of the ways that we can give back into our communities.
right.
And that would be maybe to volunteer some of your time. So we're going to talk a little bit about that because my daughter, who has a lot of knowledge on this and
Hmm.
history behind this, will share with you some of her experiences and some of the things that she's done. I mean, she's
Hmm.
very involved, and I'm so proud of her for that as well.
Aw.
So, daughter, Miss
Mhm.
Marcine, I'm going to
Yes,
let you take
ma'am.
it away. And if
Oh,
anybody wants
thank
to
you.
jump on board and leave a comment, please feel free and tell us how some of the ways that maybe in the past that you've given volunteered some of your time, some of the things that you've done, or maybe what you're going to be doing for this holiday season. Okay. All right. So, Miss Marcine, take it away.
Thank you so much. That was such a good introduction. I'm loving it. So, when it comes to volunteering, I sometimes have to take a step back and kind of look at my own life and always remind myself, there are people out there that need some extra help. And even if they're not asking, it's still nice to kind of go out and see what we can do from our end.
Yes.
This streamed back my grandmother, whose name is also Marcine. Her name is Marcine Shaw. She
Okay.
was, I know, I love my name, but
Oh, that's
she
awesome.
was a humanitarian, and that was such a big passion of hers. She always had toy drives, and she always just gave back to the community. She was a councilwoman at one point in Compton, California. So, she was really well known for just kind of giving back. And it trickled down to my mom taking me out downtown Las Vegas with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, us
Oh,
passing
wow.
out, food and clothes and blankets. So it started from me being, kind of embedded into me as a child. And now as an adult, I'm like, okay, maybe if I can't, afford to do it this year, I'll try and do it this year. So back in 2018, I, just out of nowhere, I was like, I just want to feed the homeless. Just this year, I'm going to really try and put my money towards it. I started a GoFundMe saying, let's feed the homeless. I got with my friend, Kenny Gilbert, who, took some pictures, and his family also came down to help me. I had my friends from my end. It was way more people than I thought, like, was going to come,
Oh,
like,
awesome.
help me pass down this food in downtown Cincinnati. On my GoFundMe, I raised $200. I was like, I was
Oh, my
shocked.
God.
It just kind of proves to ourselves, if you think like, okay, no one's gonna donate to something like this, try it. Just try and see exactly what happens, because people will, and people do donate, especially for good cause. So I made sure to let everyone that was donating that this is strictly going to preparing the food for the homeless.
Now,
Um,
was that your first time doing that, Marcine?
Yep. As an adult in Cincinnati, it was my first time. It was my first time. I cooked like lemon pepper chicken. I cooked mashed potatoes, green beans. I bought to-go boxes from Dollar Store, and I made 50 boxes of food, like in my kitchen, just cooking. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
my first time getting it together as an adult, saying, hey, let's go downtown and let's walk. We walked, I don't even know how many miles, how many blocks we walked. I was exhausted. I felt like I had ran a
Wow.
marathon, but
So did you? So let me ask you this: did you just randomly, just like you didn't have a particular area, you just went in the area where you thought that there might be people that
mhm,
are in need, and
yes,
what you just totally focus on the homeless?
yes. So I went to downtown Cincinnati, and and to answer your question previously, I have volunteered with like Habitat for Humanity. I used to do that in Las Vegas, and it wasn't anything that was required. I just really wanted to give back in some sort of fashion, and it would always be around Thanksgiving, around Christmas time. It was always in their reseller stores where they are selling oh gosh, Habitat for Humanity is an amazing organization. They
Yeah,
sell
it
fridges,
is.
cabinets, so much
Yes,
stuff
they
that
do.
and it's amazing because I just went there 2 weeks ago to volunteer, and normally like houses that foreclose, it looks like they get brand new cabinets. It had a full set of cabinets there. So I like to
Yeah.
volunteer for Habitat for Humanity. And when I went downtown, I just was like, I noticed it's sad because downtown they have so many fancy restaurants, so many museums and places you can go, but then as soon as you turn the block, you see homeless, individuals and families just living on the street. So I figured I'll just go down there and I'll just pass out food. So
Oh, wow. Amazing.
mhm,
I think with Habitat for Humanity too, and I
mhm,
believe it's all over, if I'm not mistaken.
all over.
It's a really big, large organization because at one point in time, when I was going to the interior design program,
Mhm,
I had this vision, what I thought I had wanted to do to help to serve. And that was at the time, but I couldn't quite get that off the ground either. But I
gotcha.
think I met with the manager once, but it was basically to help the families that to, but when you're on a fixed income or budget, how you
Right.
can still um, have a beautiful home on
Yes.
just on a low budget,
Mhm,
and ways that you can cut costs, cut corners, and
right.
different ways that you can design your rooms. And that
Right.
was the vision that I had in mind,
Oh
and which
yeah.
they did like me. They did like it when I proposed it to them. I just couldn't. I think we must have met once or twice. I couldn't quite get that off the ground too, but
Mhm,
that's what I thought that I would wanted to do to help with Habitat for Humanity was maybe people who were buying their first well, not really about getting their homes for the first time, and these
right.
are brand new homes, to be able to help decorate and design in their homes. That's what I had wanted to do, and there may be some people out there that actually do that, but I
Right.
thought that would be an experience that would be under my belt to help get
Oh
me
yeah.
started too. So, but it didn't come in. It didn't really get off the ground. So, but that's okay.
I
But
mean,
I'm
nothing
I'm
wrong with
happy
that.
for what. Yeah, but that's awesome what you do because Habitat for Humanity is based on, I think it's sweat equity for the family or the people who are going to be moving into their homes, and
Yeah.
friends and family members who all jump in to help volunteer to help build up these homes.
I think
And
it's
there's
yeah.
those homes are pretty nice.
It is. I think it's amazing, and they do so much for the community, especially when there's disasters that happen. They will go out and they will build homes, and people can volunteer for that. So I like to kind of
Yeah.
help where I can, and it's something that I get a personal joy from helping people. And I wanted to make sure, hey, like while we were out passing out the food, I'm like, do not take pictures of people. This wasn't something
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted to do for social media. This was something
Right.
where like I really wanted to give them some dignity and say, here's some blankets, here's some hygiene products, here's some food. And it was insane. I went down to the library that is downtown, and the library must like let them stay there while it's cold because so many people came out of the library.
Yeah.
Like the police officer was like, "Hey, we have someone in here passing out food," and it was at least 20 people. And it like grabs at my heart because I'm just like, oh God, it
It's
makes me
amazing.
so sad. I wanted to help in some type of way. My daughter did it
Yes.
with me, and now she wants to do it going forward. So in any
That's
way I can
nice.
help, I will do that.
I know I have one time through church we worked, I think Thanksgiving at a food,
Mhm.
not a food pantry. A food pantry is when you like get groceries and you give it to the family, but this is more like you cook the food and you
Kind of
serve
like a
the
soup
people.
kitchen in some way.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, gotcha.
That was a good experience, and I would recommend that for people who, if you want to start off small, it is a
Mm,
really good feeling because you feel like you're doing something, you're contributing or giving back.
right.
Because we never know from one day to the next. I mean, we're blessed that God
Mm,
has sustained us all this time, but you just never know what your tomorrow is going to be. And hopefully you never have to experience that.
right.
But if you do, it's good to know that there are places out there who wanting to help. And it's
Mm-hmm.
nice if we're able to give if we can give,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that that's good as well to be able to give back in some kind of way. I just had one of my friends on a few days ago, Sharon McGuire. She is the founder of Out Here in this area for this. I think this organization has been running for about 30 years, but it's called Reach Out Lakota,
Oh,
and
nice.
they set up with the food pantry. Yep, and they also give like clothes and stuff to families that may be struggling at the time and might need a little bit of help.
Oh,
So
that is
I
so nice.
basically I try to make my platform as far as being able to help others in some way or another. And remember, my what I provide here at yours
Mm,
truly, Miss Nita, is inspiration, motivation, and information. So I want to provide information. At times I'll be able to do that, but also to inspire folks too as well to hopefully get out and maybe do something. We hang out with our family and friends, and
mm,
sometimes it's not even, if you're not even able to make it out and hit the streets and maybe help someone else or work in the food pantry or work the food line where you're dipping up food or something like that. It is very rewarding though, just being able to help someone else. But
right.
sometimes there's people that's right in your family line. It could be
Mm,
someone that maybe you don't spend as much time with. Maybe sometimes just a telephone call just to check up on them, see how they're doing. Sometimes it
mm,
could just be simple as stopping by, paying them a visit, or bringing them some food. Sometimes it could be right in your backyard, so to speak.
mm,
So if you're not able to branch out or reach out into the extended community, look within your family or, relatives, or see if there's someone that you can check up on or, maybe help if they need it and if you're able to.
right.
Um, so yeah, those are some different ways too that we can give back. But I mean, this is a time of Thanksgiving, a
Mm-hmm.
time of giving thanks and things that we are grateful or thankful for. And
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressed with what you shared with me. I think that for a young lady to be able
Mm-hmm.
to do that, because those other folks can't even say that. I mean, what you did was a lot to get the money together to cook the food, because you now, and go get the food, then cook the
Right.
food, and then go down there and start feeding people. And
Mm.
the Lord will bless you for that. That says a lot about your character.
Oh,
um
thank you.
yeah, it does. It really does. So, I mean, there's things that's out there that we can do. Like I said, there's food pantries all around. I'm pretty
Mm,
certain in every state, in most communities. I say most because I don't know all the communities, but most of they offer some kind of where you can give, food, clothing, stuff to that nature. So you just
right,
have to check around. But
right.
yeah, I just want you to come back on board because the last time that you and I was together, we
Mm,
talked about also a holiday time, which is rough because
yes,
you lost your mother, I lost my mom,
mm,
and it's a challenge. To
it
me,
is.
it's a challenge because I won't have my mom here this year, and
Mm,
so
that's
it's
gonna be. It could
yeah.
be a little tough. I think that's one of the reasons why I still do it as an adult. Like go out and give back, even to because I'm not from Cincinnati, but just
So
recognizing that
you're from
people have to.
California, right? Aren't you?
Originally, yeah. So originally I'm from California. I grew up in Las Vegas and then I moved out to Cincinnati. So it's
Oh, girl, that's
something
a big move. That's a big jump from Las Vegas to
I
Ohio.
I drove
Okay.
here too. It took a long time
You
to get here.
you
In my tiny little Nissan Versa. It took so long.
You're
But,
good.
but I did it.
Well, you
It's
know what?
just
I can't. I took a chance now for me to leave here from Ohio to go down to Atlanta, Georgia. This was years ago. I
mm,
drove down there. For me, that was a challenge because I've never, I'm not
Rachel.
adventurous like that. So I'm over there, over there, over there, and okay. I got my granddaughter here.
I know. I love it because I'm like waiting at any moment for my son just to like pop up and wake up. Um, I'm just waiting. But I think
I don't want my son to get off my case. Stay right
it's
there, okay?
crazy. I think like one of the things, if anyone ever had anything like, hey, what's an idea, what to do? I think a really good idea would be to like go to the dollar store, get
Oh
toothbrush,
yeah.
toothpaste,
Oh
mouthwash,
yeah.
socks, and then you can put it in a little brown paper bag with like a sandwich. And if you see someone like on the corner, because everyone who rides the freeway always sees someone on the corner who needs help, especially down towards downtown, and you could just give it to them, and it's just stuff that they may need. I try to do that as well. So even if you aren't able to go downtown and pass out food like I was able to, nothing wrong with, like, Miss Anita said, if you haven't talked to a friend or a family member in a while and you're like, you know what, let me reach out to them, see how they're doing, that
Yeah.
makes such a difference. It really
Yeah.
touches my heart if someone randomly texts me. I'm like, oh my God, they were thinking of me to like reach out
Yeah.
and text. So
Yeah.
it's the little things that we can do
It
to
is.
improve
It
someone's
really
day.
truly is.
Hmm.
And those little things go a long way.
Yes, it really
Yeah.
does. It just, I don't know. To me, when I leave this earth, I want to make sure when I leave that I am leaving a footprint like on this world, that I help someone somewhere, no matter if it's with them believing in themselves or giving them food or just trying to be an ear so they can talk to. If I've helped someone in some way, then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm good because I've touched someone's life. So but that's just how I was, brought up to be. So I really hope everyone during the holidays, they have a, good and happy holiday. And we'll have to get together because I know with the holidays, it might be a little tough. So, I am here if you need me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also too, I think give words of encouragement.
Hmm.
That is very helpful too. Sometimes we need that because you never
Right.
know what a person is going through. Because a lot of times we walk around with smiles on our face, and we don't always share with others what we're really dealing with. It's just like, oh, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing it, because we're so used to saying, I'm doing fine, I'm doing
Oh,
good.
yeah.
And we don't always know what people are really dealing with inside. So
Right.
um, sometimes just offer words of encouragement, because I think that that's helpful too as well.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
I think those are small things, but they're very needed. And yeah, so
Oh,
yeah, this is an opportunity to discuss. I guess I don't know if there's anyone that's out there that want to hop on board. If you do, feel free. I'm
mm,
probably not going to stay on too much longer, but just want to just to park for a minute
mm,
and have my daughter come on board to share her experiences. I was wondering if there's anybody out there who has done the same. Maybe
mm,
you've gone out into the communities and helped in some kind of capacity. Maybe
right.
you've worked in the food line where you've dipped up food, and it is very rewarding. Um, or given away clothing, or maybe
Mm,
even help a family member or a friend. Um,
mm.
and it shouldn't just be just for Thanksgiving or even Christmas. Honestly, we should have the heart.
Throughout
This
the
should be,
whole,
oh yeah, that's right. This should
uh,
be the way we, as human beings, period. But I think we've gotten so isolated and and not trusting of each other, which
Right.
in some ways is understandably so, because we live in different times. So you do have to be somewhat guarded and
Hmm.
protective. But in general, we should be, or maybe just keep your eyes open. Maybe that's what I should
Right.
say. Keep your eyes open and look to see if there's someone who is in need or may need help or support, or
Hmm.
help an older person, um, something
Anything really. Yeah, just
in
doing
some kind
something
of
to be
way.
able to touch someone's life would be
There you go.
phenomenal. So,
There you
you know,
go. Just
oh,
check up on them every now and then. um,
exactly.
that's important, I think.
Hmm.
And sometimes maybe people may not always feel like they want to be bothered, because we can get like that too. Sometimes you get used to being by yourself,
Right.
um, but at least try. I guess that's the message. At least try. Um, Again, I want to say, if you can't go out into the communities and you don't have that kind of time, or if you don't, that might not be your thing, then look within inside of your family.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it might be a situation of family squabbles that need to be aired out or worked out, or maybe you've harbored some anger for such a long time, and over the year time has passed, and you wonder, like, sometimes you're thinking, what we argue about, was it really that important? I mean, when you leave,
It
if you were to
never
die, and
is.
you think, was it really worth it? Those are
Right.
things. I think after losing some loved ones, you start thinking about what's really important. When you start losing people, for me, I think about stuff like that, and it's like, well, it's not as important.
Right.
It's not as important, but I understand, though, you do still want to feel guarded and protected. That's understandable too, because we live in some different times, and yeah, we do have to protect ourselves. So that's something that you got to weigh out, pray about, and ask God to give you guidance and direction on that as well. But I just want to hop on board just to talk to you guys. Thanksgiving is what, next Thursday? Yeah, it's
Oh,
coming pretty quickly.
yes.
So everybody's going to be either cooking, and a lot of sports is going to be on. So a lot of people are going to be in front of TV sets, stuffing their face and drinking. And you know how it is. You get a bunch of friends and
Absolutely.
family members over. So those are still some things that you can still help in some capacity before you sit down and party hard.
Absolutely.
So,
Oh,
Marcine, I thank you so very much, babe, for coming back on and taking the time
oh,
with me to to share your experience. And my son, I'm not going to use the word that he used, but he said, as an inside joke, I'll just use the letter. And he said,
okay.
"Don't F it up."
Oh
He
my
says that you would know what that
God.
means.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do know what that means.
And you'll have to explain that to me later, but he says that
Yeah,
you'll know what that means.
I'll explain it later. Oh, he's such a goober. My God. Well, hopefully I didn't F it up. So.
He came by here today because he brought my granddaughter over here. Man, he's a trip.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he's always in a rush though. But yeah, he told me to tell you that.
I'll make sure to text him. Be like,
Yes,
I
you
think I did
should.
good.
You
So.
should. I'm sorry, and I hope I didn't embarrass you, but I was just
No,
conveying the message.
no. It's actually secretly it's. So we say it in the office when say we
That's
have
what he
like a
told me.
meeting but we know we're gonna do good. We know we're gonna be just fine in the meeting. We always say that to kind of like break the ice a little bit, so it just makes us less nervous. Good
I
God.
know, because he said she'll know what I'm talking about. Like,
I
okay.
did. Yep. Yep. I will
I,
text him.
I
Thank
don't know
you.
if he's watching. I don't know if my son is watching. Chances are he's not, because a lot of times, he says, are you watching any of my videos or anything? Like, I haven't gotten around to it, so I'm just assuming that he doesn't watch any of my stuff. But yeah, I
Well,
thought that was really funny. I'm like, okay, you guys know what that means. So.
yep, I got it. It's always a pleasure when you ask me on here. So I'm happy to always be on here. Please feel free to reach out to me if you ever want to have any further conversations, and I'm here for
Yeah, for
you.
sure. Most
Mm,
definitely. Because I think to me, for me, it's always
mm,
important, especially when you're talking about loss of a loved one, to know different people's experience because there's a lot of people out here who has lost someone
right,
and they may be struggling. And sometimes it's just nice to have a group of people that, you can hear different people's experience, like, wow, yeah, that's
right,
what I'm dealing with, or that's what I'm going through, and to know that you're not alone. And you're
exactly.
not. There's other people out here. We're dealing, trying to will and deal and get through this life, and get up each day and put one foot in front of the other and keep on moving. And that's all we can do. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean it takes away the hurt and pain. But as time goes on, we do know it's not as painful, but you still
Right,
miss who you miss.
exactly.
Can't they was a part of your life. So
Right.
yeah. So
Well,
that's pretty much it. And I thank you so much for your time. No one has hopped on, so I guess, and I didn't announce this, and that's something I'm gonna have to learn how to do. I've never really announced any time that I go live, so I probably need to start doing that. But they'll be able to watch this. Trust me,
oh
when
yeah,
we go
absolutely.
off, they'll be able to watch it when we end this conversation. But daughter, thank you so much. I love
You're
you. Mwah.
welcome.
I
I love you
appreciate it.
too.
Taking time out of your day to spend some time with me and to share your experience about how we can give back into the communities through volunteering, and helping out maybe perhaps some of the, that's something that there may be others that would like to do that. So yeah, check in
Absolutely.
your communities, guys, and see what's out there. Um, you probably can go online and
Mm-hmm.
see who you can connect with, what organizations you can connect with. There's probably a whole host of list of
Oh,
organizations.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
is. Yep,
Oh yeah,
I'm
for
sure it is.
sure. So, well, thank you again. I'm going to go
You're
ahead and
welcome.
end this. Again, thank you and God bless you. And
Oh,
thank you
thank you.
guys for stopping by. Yours truly, Miss Anita, to take the time to listen to the conversation. Hopefully, you got something out of it. And if you didn't this time, there will be other ones. As a matter
There
of
will
fact,
be others.
supposed to have another live chat. This is my announcement right here. I'm supposed to have another live chat tomorrow, as a matter of fact, with Brett.
Nice.
Um, he has his own channel, Roadrunner 89. If you guys haven't checked him out, you can go check him out. He basically, his platform is around interracial relationships. He's married to an African American woman. They've been married for over 27 years. And actually, he's had some really good shows. And so
Oh, nice.
he is going to come back on board tomorrow. I think we're going to address, like, for the single ladies, um, talk about some things that we need to keep our eyes and ears open on, some things, and probably to some men too that might be interested in dating outside of their, race. So thank you, Marcine, and you
Oh,
have a
no
good,
worries.
enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Actually, I'm supposed to get back to work a little bit later, so I'm going to wrap this up, you guys. Thank you. You all
Perfect.
have a good day, and I'll see you at the next live chat or the next video. Bye
Awesome.
bye.
Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.
You too. Bye bye. Okay. End.